Claude Anderson may come along and he writes a great book like Powernomics, and he says, no, 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 the way you influence politics is with your money. And I agree with Dr. Anderson 100%, but the amount that would have to be raised from black people would be really, really strenuous. And I don't know if it'd be the best use of our financial resources. I would argue that if you're raising money and you want to be political on behalf of the black community, you're better off, in my view, raising, say, $10 million to go build a couple of black schools. When I was on the phone with Kanye West and we had long conversations and I was really trying to help him see the vision, he saw the vision. He did. He actually, I told him about our black core of three in the Black Business School. That was the first thing I said. I said, we believe black people should educate our own children, create our own jobs, and support black owned businesses. I know it must have sank in because he literally texted that to me the next morning. He wrote it out in a text. And I said, okay, it sounds like he's listening. But what he didn't quite get was I said, I think that the power play for the black community would be for us to raise enough capital. And he's got the money. He's not a broke man. I saw his finances in extreme detail. This man really does have money. I said, what if you raised, 10, $20 million and just built a series of black owned institutions that could sort of be a hybrid of economic and educational basis. The same way the church can perform multiple functions, right? The church can be a school, the church can be a bank, the church can be a business, the church can be a social space, it can be obviously a spiritual space. Well, what about economic churches? What if we had a systematic framework where we built Powernomics training centers, Powernomics training camps all around the country, same model, one blueprint, very simple blueprint that makes sure that every single person that's interested can learn the basics of black wealth and black economics combined with black history and black culture and just what it means to build a strong black community. Maybe circle it around basic things like health, wealth, and relationships, where every single person who goes through a basic curriculum would be physically and mentally healthy, would be educationally sound, would understand the importance of family and how to build and preserve strong families, which is what the black community needs, and would also understand everything they want to know about economics and wealth. Well, then you could do something like that's done maybe at Ford or GM. You start mass producing millions of people that are able to really elevate a community. See, here's the thing. I have so much faith in the discussions that we have every day that I really truly believe in a talented 10th light concept in this sense. I believe that a well-trained, well-prepared Black African American person, one well-trained, well-prepared African American person is just as capable as 50 people who are unfocused, unskilled, and unaware. I think literally I would take one of y'all over 50 of them, whoever them is, whatever you want to make them into. The them would be people that just don't understand what's going on, the people that are wasting their time, the people that are very frustrated trying things that aren't working. No, I can. There are solutions that actually do work. We've broken this down. We've studied the Black experience in extreme detail from the cradle to the grave, and worked to solve every single problem that comes along with being Black. And those problems are directly solvable by you without the help from any white person or any. You ain't got to go to Massa to figure it out. It's all right there in front of you. And if you have the discipline to break away from the culture and apply these solutions, then your life will be as wonderful as a rich white person's. Like literally, you can literally engineer a life for a young Black child that is so full of Black privilege that it exceeds in personal value white privilege. It goes beyond white privilege. They literally would be better off than the average rich white person in America because they would just understand how to hack certain aspects of Black life that become very problematic, like the generational curses or the violence or the educational problems or the economic issues, things like that. So I would say that overall, if you are one of those people who sat on the call, maybe you sat on the call with 20,000 other Black men and you proudly proclaimed that you were going to go raise a couple $1 million for Kamala Harris, and these Black men also say we're going to protect Kamala. I I'm gonna be petty for a minute. I'm gonna say like, but Dougie isn't her husband's Dougie? Isn't that Dougie's job? She doesn't want. I mean, does she need a black man to protect her? I don't know. I know black women who also deserve our protection too. Not just Kamala, but the women in your community. Your baby mama needs your protection too. Your sister needs your protection. Your daughter needs your protection too. Kamala's got Dougie. Dougie's a powerful Jewish lawyer. He can take care. He can protect her. But anyway, I'm being silly. But my point is to say though that overall. I would argue that those men and those women who are raising the money to put a person of color in the White House might also consider raising that same amount of money for something that creates a drug that goes right to the bloodstream. Meaning that if I raise $2 million and just don't dump it into this $5 billion pile of super PAC money in the election, that's literally a drop in a lake. Like it's not going to make much of a difference. To be honest with you, it's there, it's good job, but it's just it's not going to make a difference. But if I take that 2 million and I go to the South Side of Chicago and build one of the most extraordinary educational institutions in the city, well, guess what? You're educating 50,000 black youth over the next X number of years. You're creating the next Malcolm X. You're creating the next, the next Coretta Scott King, or the African American Kamala Harris, if that's what you want. Like whatever you're creating the black Zuckerbergs, the Mark Zuckerbergs that are in the black community. You're creating the next black generation of black superstars that are not just going to have the skill sets required to be highly successful, but they're also going to have the right value system where they're going to put black people first instead of putting black people last. They're not going to be in a position where they have to say silly things like, I'm not going to do anything specific for black people. Instead, they're going to wake up and say, oh, everything I do is going to be specifically for black people. How about that? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with saying that instead of being stuck in a spot where you have to literally say, and maybe Kamala, I hope Kamala doesn't believe that. I really do. I really hope that she was just saying it so she can get elected.